Hey everybody, Rich here, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Today is October the 22nd. As we stand here, you won't see this till Friday, the first week in November, but on October 2nd, October 3rd, I'm sorry, I should say, October 3rd, I was looking at the front of these hives and I noticed that this one was a little light in the loafers, as it were. It's like, this isn't as busy as it was just a couple of days ago. What's going on here? And I opened it up and took a look, and I found a frame with 7 queen cells on it, capped. Actually, 6 were capped, 1 wasn't capped yet. And I'm like, oh, you little boogers. Because there was no good reason for it. They had plenty of room. There was plenty of empty comb, dry comb, undrawn frames. They're just swarmy bees. It was a swarm we caught, a late swarm we caught, and they're just swarmy bees. But at any rate, I went ahead and did a quick split. I took that frame with 7 queen cells on it, put it in here, pulled a frame of stores, nectar and capped honey from this hive, went into that hive because I'd been doing hive checks, and there was a lovely frame of bee bread in that one. Put the 3 frames in here, dropped an empty frame of foundation on either side just to take up the space. I didn't feel like using a 3-frame nuke. And I just put them in there, fed them sugar water to start, and all they did was drown themselves. They didn't know what to do with it. So I started feeding them damp sugar, and I fed them a couple of pollen patties. I fed them damp sugar with banana in it. But this morning, there's not a whole lot of forager activity. But this morning, a forager came in with pollen. So it's like, oh, finally, pollen. We may have a queen. So we're going to go in and take a look. This is like an unboxing. I haven't been in here either. I'll say haven't been here except for, you want to come up here and see the bees nibbling on their sugar? I have lifted the feeder and I have put banana peels and I've put pollen patty in down there too. But let's see where we're going. We have a lot of small hive beetles here. Not normally a problem in my hives. Maybe these aren't that big a problem here, but they're not, it's not good. It's not optimal. We'll have to get a Swiffer sheet in here. Well, I put this pollen patty in yesterday across all of here, and they've eaten it where they can get to it. Let's take it out of here for the moment. Excuse me. Obviously, they like my little pollen patty recipe.
We could put a link to the pollen patty, the homemade pollen patty video.
We can. Look, I mean, look at that. Get a close up of that. I mean, talk about sidling up to the bar. If that's not an advertisement for my little homemade patties, I don't know what is.
Well, they certainly seem to like them.
Yeah. And look at that. Where they had access to it, they've eaten it away. Where it was laying on the frames, they haven't eaten it away. Also, again, a good clear indication of how much they enjoy banana peels. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Oh, I want to make an observation. For the last month or so, I've been using my modified hive tool here. This starts out as the frame cleaner tool with teeth over here and all that other stuff that I trimmed up. And I'd made the observation when I did my hive tool video that the reason we like one hive tool over another is mostly just muscle memory. We get used to using one, and that's why I wanted to try this. Well, the other day when I was in the hives, I grabbed my regular hive tool, which has been my favorite for 5 years, and it felt awkward in my hand because I had modified this to be exactly the way I liked it. It just happened to not be around because I hadn't brought it out here. And I'm like, oh, okay, muscle memory has been dealt with. I've gotten used to this one. So I was right. It is just a matter of you like what you get used to, but you really can change yourself if you want to. Let's see what we got here. Come on, you. I only want one frame. Okay, we've got nectar. We do not have we don't have any captive brood on that one. Let's see what we got on this. They're not working on the end ones. I didn't expect them to be. Didn't even want them to be. Really. Well, obviously that frame of captive brood.
But do you see eggs?
I see no eggs. I thought for a moment there I saw. No, no, that's honey. But they haven't undone yet. Well, okay, somebody started bringing in. They've started bringing in pollen, but we don't appear to have a queen.
Well, maybe she's out getting mated and they're anticipating.
I hope so. This was the frame here that they were on. I know it isn't because this one has foundation. But you can see two torn down queen cells there, which would imply that a queen came, stung her sisters, and they're tearing down the cells.
Yes.
You get a good one on that?
Let's take another look at that first frame. It's very shiny nectar.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not dripping out, so they're capping it.
Well, I think you might have to give it another week or two.
Yep. When in doubt, don't do anything. Give them a chance. But on the bright side, if we don't see anything here in a little while, well, I can just merge them back in with the colony they were already part of. And they can just help with that. But, oh well. I saw them bringing in pollen this morning. I had high hopes, but no worries just yet. That one frame had 7 queen cells on it, capped. The remains of 2 queen cells are on there now, just 2. The rest of them have been completely obliterated. I don't even see any sign of them. So somebody hatched and killed the others. Everything went the way it was supposed to there.
Do you want to look at the hive they came out of to make sure they also have a queen still?
Hmm.
Because it sounds to me like they may have swarmed before
Well,
you
I have to
moved.
assume they swarmed before I saw all this because, like I said, they seemed a little light that day. And when I looked, there were capped queen cells. When the queen cells are capped, the swarm is either just about to leave or they've already left.
Did you leave them a cap queen cell in there?
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
yeah, I did. There was a couple of queen cells on other frames.
Hmm.
So I just didn't want them to swarm and then a secondary swarm and a tertiary swarm. This is the wrong time of year for swarms, but swarmy bees, you could get 2 or 3. I didn't want that to happen.
You want to look anyway?
We can look anyway.
We're here.
Now let's see how you guys are doing on your sugar. You're doing good. So hopefully you won't be in too bad a mood. This hive has attitude.
Hmm.
I don't even bother. I don't even need to bother to take that off.
Bit of spice there, huh?
Oh, the cinnamon?
No, I mean the hive
Oh,
is
the
a little
hive has a bit of
spicy.
spice to it. Yes, it does. The cinnamon and the other one is just duh. I I protected all these hives from ants by putting the stickum stuff on the ends of the bars, and then I put that box down literally on top of it so that it overlapped it. First time I went in it, it was full of ants. Like, yeah, just that much is all it took for the ants to get in it, but cinnamon did the trick. All right. Just take the super and the queen excluder and just let it all be. Well, you girls seem calm. Nobody's paying any attention to me. Oh, pardon me. All right. Let me grab that frame holder. And put it over here. But if we're going to go into a full hive like this, dear, I probably need to light a smoker. So how about you just stop for a second?
Sure. And we're back.
Okay, we're back. Smoker lit. Let's see. Actually, the first thing we'll do is roll it down a little bit. First thing we'll do is
And what are you looking for?
I was just looking for more queen cells, if there were any. Doesn't seem to be. I didn't expect. All right. You girls need to behave a little bit too. All right. Let's just.
Oh, you put a foundation frame in there.
Yeah, I had so many of them, and I was in a hurry one day, so I just stuck some in. I tend to use them on the ends. Actually, I'll tell you what hooked me here. So this is the tool I've used for so many years with so much enjoyment, but you see how much deeper that is on this piece right here? Actually, I should put them like that so you can see how much deeper that is. Once I'd gotten used to it, it's like the other one seemed like my knuckles were just too darn close to the bees. Okay, they're making honey on that side. Uh, Tiny bit of old brood left on that side. Tiny bit of old brood left on this side, but mostly backfilling with honey. Hmm. But this is what you expect. We're almost to the end of October. The brood chamber should be being reduced in size. 2 months ago, you might have had 8 full frames of brood in here, but they're reducing brood. Okay, a few frames of, or a few frames, a few cells of brood, a few cells of drone, and lots of nectar. The nice thing is that if this is a queenless hive at this point, they're not really making drones, they're just cranking out the honey, which sometimes happens. And if so, I'll just let them do it because I don't need them. Hey, you girls, watch where you're going there. That's my privates you're looking at.
Yeah, but if you would just be getting into the brood chamber now if they had a
If what I
queen
saw on the bottom
who
is
was
any
laying.
indication,
Yeah.
is there were only bees busy on the bottom on the last couple of frames.
Oh, that's a weird looking bump.
Well, this must have been well, of course, it was a cutout.
Yeah.
So these two sections,
Oh, yeah.
you see,
Oh,
so
look.
you see
There's
open,
your queen cells.
open. So, well,
Uh-huh.
that's just a queen cup, and that's just a queen cup.
Uh-huh.
If those had been queen cells, they'd have tore them on down.
Don't see any eggs, huh?
No, not so far.
Well, maybe she's out getting mated too. It's only been what? What'd you say? Today's the 22nd and you saw it October 2nd?
Mm-hmm.
That's 20 days.
Yeah, but that's just about right for a queen to, a capped queen cell to mature a queen, and for her to come out and walk around for a couple of days in the hive, and then when she's all hardened off to go out and fly. And as we've seen from time to time, sometimes these bees don't start laying as soon as they get back. Sometimes they hang out for a bit.
Or maybe the eggs are too tiny for us to see. We gotta wait till they get to be larvae. Anything?
Well, I was hoping I might see some larvae there, but that was not larvae. That was just some really shiny bee bread.
Okay. Well,
Man, I'm gonna die here.
there's a lot of smoke. What's in that thing?
One of my famous toilet paper and egg carton rolls.
Uh-huh.
Stomp on an egg carton to flatten it out, roll it up into a tight cylinder and stuff it inside a toilet paper roll and light the end and throw it in
Makes a lot of good smoke.
for about 20 minutes, and then you are so done. There's just a little tiny bit of ash left in the bottom.
Yeah, well, that's all you need for this one.
Yep.
No, they're working on it.
Oh, they've got it all drawn out.
Huh.
Yep.
That was another one with foundation, I take it.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, the two on the ends.
Yep. Well, I'd give them another week or two, and we can take another look. See if we got queens. And if we don't,
well, I have hopes we'll have a queen there, but whether we'll have a queen here or not, that's anybody's guess.
well, if you don't, it's always
Hey, it's just
other eggs and larvae you can take from the other colonies, and
at this time of year. Why would I?
well, you're just going to let them.
I'll let them make me some honey,
Yeah.
and then I'll just distribute them.
Oh, you're just going to meld them back together in some of the other hives?
Yep.
Yep, that makes sense too. Because in about 3 months, swarm season will start, and we'll end up getting more bees than we'll know what to do with.
Well, like I said, I had drones on January 1st last year, and by the third week in January, we had a swarm.
Yeah. Well, these bees were fixing to swarm the first week of October.
Well, swarmy bees. I am not unhappy that I don't have a queen there to pass on that particular bit of genetics. Yeah, well, to a certain extent. I mean, as
well, they're not bad.
No, they're nice bees.
Well, they're not spicy now.
No, you give them a touch of the smoke and they're okay.
Well, plus they're well fed at the moment.
Well, there's that.
In case y'all are wondering, he knows there's no queen in the top box because he's got a queen excluder on there.
Yeah. I'll put it back on and just confirm for myself that they're doing a good job of filling that one up. But I want to make sure they still have a little room there because, well, they can't swarm on me. So it's hardly even worth worrying about. It's like, oh, you better make sure they don't want to swarm. It's like, well, they couldn't swarm if they wanted to. Now, if I put a frame of eggs and larvae in here, they'd go to town with it because they've got all kinds of resources there. But I don't, these were to give to other people, and nobody is really stepping up. Everybody's seems to just be planning, but nobody is coming to get them. So,
well, because a lot of people think in the winter months that you can't start new colonies, but down here you can.
Yeah, and we've been telling people that, but
well, I know, but they watch a lot of people in other areas of the country and think that it applies to South Florida. And
I think they just don't want to. I just think they don't want to feed bees for a couple of months.
Well, there's that too.
Because it's like they think that you should be starting with sugar syrup instead of using something like the dry sugar or the damp sugar. All right, well, that's it. Boy, that was let down. I was hoping after seeing that pollen coming in that we were going to have a nice new shiny queen in there.
Well, you don't know that she's not out being mated.
I don't know it for sure. And like I said, when in doubt, do nothing. So we'll come back in another week, and if there's still no sign of eggs or larvae, then we will know that we should just put all this stuff back together. Okay, so we've time traveled. It's a week later from your standpoint. Just messing with you. I wore the same t-shirt just for the fun of it. So when in doubt, do nothing. Probably going to be the title of this video because it's a week later and this little hive here Has a fully laid out frame of brood in it, fully laid out frame of cat brood in it. I'll open it up in a minute. I went ahead and took the two dummy frames off from the sides and gave them a couple of frames of drawn comb yesterday. You want to look at all the bees happily working in there on their sugar. Okay, I'm going to take this off of here.
Is that a Swiffer?
That's a Swiffer sheet. Because there's a bit of a small hive beetle issue going on here. See the small hive beetle? Caught in the Swiffer sheet, now dead in the Swiffer sheet. And look at this. I gave them 2 pollen patties. This one is totally decimated. I don't even know where the cover is. Let's see. Nope. No cover there. Wow. It must be in the act of hauling it out front when they get around to it. Now they're actively working on this one. But if you want to see that frame of brood, I'm going to have to cut this. Okay.
Don't forget to watch for the queen, honey.
I will. Didn't see her the other day.
We don't want to roll her.
When you got a tight little box, you do what you can do.
Oh my.
A week ago, there wasn't
anything
nothing to be seen.
That is a nice brood pattern.
Isn't that a beautiful pattern?
Yes, it is.
Look at that bee chasing that small
Can we,
beetle.
let's look at the other side.
Gotten off to a good start there.
Yeah.
Now, that side was uncapped Saturday. Today, by the way, is Monday. My videographer was off for the weekend.
I went camping.
Yes. So I did go in as promised Saturday a week later. And there you go. When in doubt, but when you have questions, like we kept seeing pollen coming in, and it's like, darn it, it just looks like something should be happening in there. So give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, I'm not going to open that one, but because I'm not 100% sure where I'm at.
You forgot your Swiffer sheet.
Why, thank you, dear.
I think I noticed it when you did.
Okay. So, as I said, I came in last Saturday, saw that lovely brood pattern in there, and went to myself, oh, good. If there's still nothing going on in that one, I'm just going to merge these two. Yeah, okay. I went into that one, took the honey super off the top, went into the brood chamber. Then I'll start with frame number 3. Hold it open. Nope, nothing going on this side. Oh, hello, your majesty. There is a queen in there 3 times the size of the workers.
And you're not going to show us.
I'm not going to hunt for her because I'm not quite sure what her status is. It was very interesting. If anybody out there has seen something similar, let me know in the comments. This queen was strolling around on comb, and there was not a single attendant next to her. There was a full 1 inch. I mean, you couldn't miss seeing the queen. You lift this up and like she's just there framed with a good solid inch all the way around her with no bees. And she was strolling around. And I mean, she was a big butted girl. I'm pretty sure she had to have been mated for her abdomen to be that big. But and since the timing on these two should be about the same because the cells in this one came from that one, but I'm just going to leave her alone and unbothered for a little longer. No, I'm getting the look, folks, but I'm not going into that hive at this point until she has decided to start laying, because I have read on plenty of occasions that a newly mated queen can wander around on the frames for 10 days before they start laying. So I want to do nothing to disturb what's going on in that box at this point. Maybe we'll take a look next week. So that's the end of this video. And of course, the main theme here is when in doubt, do nothing and give them a chance to see what happens. Because bye-bye, everybody. We've got 2 healthy colonies here. Oh, by the way, you notice there's a gap here. Somebody came yesterday. I was muttering about how nobody was coming to pick up bees. Well, there's a gap right there because yesterday some folks came over to pick up a colony of bees. So 2 more to go, folks. Come on. Let's get some new colonies out there. This is Rich. This has been South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Be sure to hit the like button and talk to you guys later.